Hello and welcome to Reportage. This is Danish bin Nabi. In this segment of Reportage, I am joined by journalist and author Mr. Ashwani Bhatnagar. We shall review his recently released book, The Lotus Years: Political Life in India in the Time of Rajiv Gandhi. Mr. Bhatnagar, in this wonderful book, kindly explain to me first the difference of nature between Sanjay Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi.
The difference between Sanjay and Rajiv was the difference between the sky and the earth. It was huge. They were two different people, temperamentally, in terms of how they lived their personal lives, and also politically. Sanjay was a maverick. He was headstrong. He was given to rash decision making. He would get angry very often. In other words, he was not cool in the sense that he was very temperamental. Rajiv, on the other hand, was a real cool guy. He would never get angry, very rarely. He was very organized. I have given this example in my book, in which both the kids had a toolbox. And Feroz Gandhi had bought them a toolbox because both of them were very, mechanically inclined. So Sanjay's toolbox was always in a disarray, while Rajiv, it was always neatly packed and kept at a proper place. So Sanjay, as a political person, was given to fighting on the street. He was headstrong, as I said, and he could take on his opponents without any, uh, you know, he knew the ropes of politics.
Can, can we say that Sanjay was a bit like his father Firoz?
No. Yes, in a way, you can say that Feroz Gandhi was also temperamental. He would sometimes get angry, especially with his wife, and he had this angst against his father-in-law, Jawaharlal Nehru. He could never get along with Nehru. But I would say that he was the type of street fighter that Sanjay Gandhi was in terms of his do most of his politics through his talking and writing rather than going out in the streets and taking on his political opponents. Another thing which I must say is that Feroz Gandhi was very well liked by his friends, and he was a suave guy. And at times he was given to poetry, reading to literature. Generally, he was a gentleman. But yes, like Sanjay, he had a temperament.
And did Sanjay like the literature and poetry as well?
No, not at all. And neither did Rajiv Gandhi like literature or poetry. Both of them never went into that, though their mother was very inclined towards the arts. She kept a circle of friends who were from different areas of art and literature. And herself, her collection of saris was amazing. And the type of, attention she gave to detail about the culture. All those festivals of India which happened in France and the USA were actually the brainchild of Indira Gandhi.
And Indira also spoke Latin and French, if I'm not wrong. Or was it only French, not the Latin?
Oh no, French. She spoke French, and as I mentioned in the book, when she met Sonia Gandhi for the first
The
time,
first time, and she made her very comfortable by in talking in French to her.
yeah, yes. Uh, Indira Gandhi had a very maternal side also. She is known as, as the great dictator. She's also known as the Durga riding the tiger. She is also known as the emergency person. But she was she had that motherly instinct in her.
Explain to me, Rajiv, after Sanjay's death, it was Rajiv's turn, but he was very reluctant. And you have written about how Indira Gandhi actually got Natwar Singh and Arun Nehru into trying to trapping Rajiv Gandhi to get him into the politics. Kindly talk a bit how actually Rajiv came after Sanjay's death to his mother's side.
For Rajiv, politics was no go area. He was not inclined temperamentally towards politics, and moreover, he had seen his brother assert himself in the political domain. He was very happy to be by himself and take care of his family. Danish, I must say the love that Sonia and Rajiv shared from day one, from the time they met at the little eatery in Oxford, was see, something amazing. I was a cub reporter when Rajiv entered politics. I was working in Lucknow for the Pioneer, and very often, almost invariably, I was assigned to cover Rajiv and Sonia's visit to their constituency, Amethi. I was also assigned earlier to cover Mrs. Gandhi whenever she went to Raebareli. But after Rajiv came into politics, and Sonia was always with him when he came on his field trips, I am a witness to the type of you know, very nuanced romance that they shared between themselves. A look here, a touch there. That sort of a very mature, very elegant, very dignified uh, romance between two people who seemed so much in love with each other. I have very good memories of sitting at the breakfast table with Rajiv Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi and looking at the glances that they shared, which showed that they were not the type of couple that we normally have. I have never seen a political couple so much into each other like Rajiv and Sonia were. And I suppose Sonia Gandhi still carries those memories with her in the deepest chambers of her heart. So, going back to Rajiv, he was a person who shared a lot with Sonia, and most of the time Sonia never wanted to share the political aspect of his life. But when it came to the big push, Rajiv and Sonia had discussed the whole thing in great detail. Sonia was absolutely against it. She knew Rajiv very well. She knew Rajiv better than Rajiv even knew himself. And she thought that this whole rigmarole of the Congress culture, the dirty part of the political game, would not be in the interest of Rajiv Gandhi, and nor was he suited for it. He himself confessed so many times to journalists also that he is never made for politics and he doesn't want to enter politics. But unfortunately, circumstances pushed him into it. It was Mrs. Gandhi, again, his mother, who virtually bulldozed him into politics. I would say that this great craving to have a heir to the dynasty was the driving force behind Mrs. Gandhi's desperate bid to get Rajiv into politics after Sanjay had died.
And it was with help of Arun Nehru and Natwar Singh.
Yes, yes, and several other people also. Uh, Natwar Singh and Arun Nehru, uh, in a manner of speaking, broke the ice, put the put the elephant, told him about the elephant in the room. But it was Mrs. Gandhi's nuanced approach, that emotional approach, their mother and son dialogue, which ultimately clinched the issue. And whatever, even if he hated it, he had to accept it. It's mentioned in quite a bit of detail in the book
Absolutely.
how Rajiv accepted it.
And in this wonderful book, you have also written about the household politics that was between actually Maneka Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Explain to me how actually Sonia never asked favors from Rahul Gandhi as far as political favors were concerned or as far as any other work was concerned, which was very unlike of Maneka Gandhi.
Yeah, Sonia wanted to keep away from all this. And it is to her credit that despite the power that the Gandhi clan wielded in the country, Both Rajiv and Sonia stayed away from either getting involved, even partially, even at the peripheral level. They had a group of friends and they were happy with those friends. Rajiv was very keen that they remain away from the political intrigue, which happens all the time, 24 by 7 in political circles. Sanjay Gandhi was a natural. And when he met Maneka Gandhi, uh, I think they fitted like a glove. Uh, Maneka was aggressive, is aggressive even today. Maneka was ambitious. Maneka wanted to, hustle her way to a position where she could assert herself politically. There's nothing wrong with it. And Maneka was very young. Remember that. She was very young.
She was only 21, I guess.
Yeah. And she was in the company of Sanjay Gandhi, who herself was very assertive. Sanjay Gandhi was, interesting thing is that though we have this image of Sanjay Gandhi being the domineering type, he had a very soft, feminine voice. That's somehow, it always, as far as I'm concerned, this is a personal view. When he spoke, somehow it jarred. He was so assertive, so aggressive, but he had a very small voice. Another thing very interesting is that every time I met Indira Gandhi, I must have met her many times. Moments before that, supposing she was arriving in a helicopter or something, you would have this figure of Indira Gandhi larger than life, 5 feet 10 inches and all that. And each time I was shocked when she came down and stood with the journalists because she was so diminutive, she was so small and so fragile looking. It was just her eyes. Her eyes were like she would give you a look and you would freeze. And again it jarred. You had that image of the towering figure of Indira Gandhi, and then suddenly you see a woman who was very petite. So same with Sanjay Gandhi. He was very aggressive. He came with a reputation, but when he spoke, he spoke in a very um, slightly less masculine voice.
Point well taken, Mr. Bhatnagar. Explain to me, 31st October 1984, Indira Gandhi is shot dead. She has been taken to AIMS Hospital, and on the 8th floor, till doctors attend to Indira Gandhi's dead body, there was a huge buzz for those few hours between the Congress High Command, between the Congress Chief Ministers, and between the Congress Party cadre about how to choose next. And you have written in great detail about how everyone was okay with Rajiv Gandhi taking over, not as an interim prime minister, I must say, but again, senior cabinet minister was Pranab Mukherjee. Why he was not chosen and Rajiv Gandhi was chosen to take over?
Well, you see, there is a story behind that, and I briefly mentioned it in the book. Uh, Rajiv Gandhi, as General Secretary of the Congress, has had a few run-ins with Pranab Mukherjee. Uh, Pranab Mukherjee took some signals wrong in terms of dealing with certain people, via special people who were close to Rajiv Gandhi or whom Rajiv Gandhi had recommended. And when I'm saying this, I'm talking of a couple of instances which involved big name industrialists. Rajiv Gandhi was friends with some of those young icons of business families. Moreover, Pranab Mukherjee uh, rise in the Congress party was, I must say, miraculous. He was a nobody, and Mrs. Gandhi picked him up, and suddenly he rose to become one of the most powerful ministers in the government. Pranab Mukherjee was a man of very efficient man, very efficient minister, very efficient in political terms. He was not a public figure in the sense that he was not a leader of the masses, but he suddenly had a grip on the situation as far as the party organization is concerned and how the parties run. So he knew the nitty gritty. He involved himself in the nitty gritty and could always manage to get the to sort out situations on behalf of Mrs. Gandhi. So he was a confidant in a sense that Mrs. Gandhi trusted him. But in the initial phase, since Rajiv was very uncertain about his entry, even after he became General Secretary of the Congress Party, he was uncertain about his politics. So probably Pranab Mukherjee took his signals wrong, and on a few occasions he he sort of behaved as if he was the person who was next to Mrs. Gandhi and nobody else. So when this whole episode happened, Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated by her guards. It was something like a bolt from the blue for the party, and it went into a tailspin. As you're aware, Rajiv Gandhi was out campaigning and in West Bengal, and Pranab Mukherjee was with him. In fact, he broke the news to him, and then he traveled with him from West Bengal to Delhi on a special flight. Now, during the flight, there was a discussion, and the precedent was that there would be an interim prime minister. When Lal Bahadur Shastri died, Gulzari Lal Nanda had become the interim prime minister till the Congress Legislative Party elected uh, Lal Bahadur Shastri as the next prime minister. Now, this was a great debate. There was a section of the people, leaders in the Congress party, who did not trust Pranab Mukherjee. Okay, for them, he was too ambitious. Secondly, if somebody became an interim prime minister, then the whole game would be wide open. And a person like Pranab or any other person could really play that game and outwit political novice like Rajiv Gandhi. Now, the thing is that the Congress desperately needed a Gandhi, and till date still needs a Gandhi to stay relevant in Indian politics.
Congress party cannot do away without Gandhis.
Yeah, they cannot. Whoever it is there, now right now you have Rahul and
Are Gandhis the Fevicol of the party?
they are much more than the Fevicol of the party. They are the I would say not only the lucky mascots but the driving force.
Mr. Bhatnagar, in this book, you have also written extensively. You are meeting with Amitabh Bachchan after he resigned as an MP from Allahabad, and that the phone call which came in between, and you said something. I want to listen to that interesting anecdote.
I know that is something which I don't know whether it will embarrass Mr. Bachchan or not, but the fact is that this whole Fairfax crisis was on, and Bachchan Sahab was in a great soup. So I was working with the Times of India then, and as you know, I had covered this Allahabad election quite extensively. In fact, Times of India posted me for a month in Allahabad from Lucknow to especially cover this election. So we made friends, a lot of friends who were like called Amitabh Bachchan's fans association. Hoti thi na, remember that? So when this Fairfax thing was on, Amitabh Bachchan wanted to speak to somebody, and since I was at the Times of India, which was the biggest newspaper, so I was asked whether I would like to interview him. And of course, I wanted to interview him because there were a whole lot of allegations against him. Like he was being accused of promoting his own community. Okay, so the caste community and
Mr. Bhatnagar, but why this mischief? When that phone came call, why did you name a particular person?
I think it was one of those spur of the moment things, and Amitabh was so hassled with this whole thing. I was asking him questions which were really needling.
Mr. Bhatnagar, can you kindly name the person?
Yeah, I'll tell you. When we finished the interview, towards the end, there was a phone call, and Amitabh was not in a very good mood because I was needling him a lot, and he picked up the phone and put it on speaker, and he said yes, and a female voice said hello. He immediately switched off the speaker and lifted the receiver and said, "Yes, I'm coming. Just give me. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just coming. I'm just coming." And then he put down the phone. So under the spur of the moment, I said, "Was it Rekha?" So he got very upset. Suddenly he jumped out of his chair, banged the table, and said, "Why are you saying scandalous things?" And I said, "This is a joke." So,
But he did not take it in a light manner.
sorry?
He did not take it in a light manner.
No, he laughed. He laughed. When he heard me, he laughed. And we went out as friends. There was no, he didn't get angry or upset with me, but he laughed and he said, yeah, you guys are just too much, And I said, everybody. And another thing, I said, Mr. Bachchan, the problem that you have, I can give you why you have this problem. He said, why? I said, you are friends with the two most important people in the country. Most of your political friends are upset with you because you're very close friend to Rajiv Gandhi. And people like me are upset with you because you're very close friends with Rekha. He said, I said, the trouble is you are friends with the people everybody wants to be friends with.
Absolutely.
He laughed and laughed and said, yes.
Uh,
ऐसी दोस्ती छोड़ दीजिए तो अच्छा रहेगा.
Mr. Bhatnagar, had Rajiv been not assassinated, do you think he would have come back to power?
Very strongly, very strongly. Rajiv Gandhi would have made a very good prime minister. His internship was over. He now knew how to, take decisions, go ahead. Rajiv was basically a person who knew intuitively what was right and what was wrong. Okay, the differentiation between right and wrong was very strong in Rajiv Gandhi. No other prime minister. And Danish, I'm telling you, I've worked with very closely worked with Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Vishwanath Pratap Singh, Chandrasekhar, Narasimha Rao, and to some extent, not as prime minister, but as MP with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Okay, and I have known so many politicians across the board. In fact, आपके जम्मू and कश्मीर के जो politician हैं, Farooq Abdullah, I have written a book on that, and it's coming out next year. So, Farooq of Kashmir.
It's exclusively on Farooq Abdullah.
Yes, he's the pivot of the book of J&K politics, and it covers the three generations of the Abdullahs from the Sheikh to Umar.
I think you have also written very recently about Hazratbal siege.
Yes, there's a book, it's already been published. It is called the Operation Khatma. It deals with the occupation of Hazratbal by JKLF in 1996, not 93. 1993, they were let go. Okay. And in 1996, the top echelon of the JKLF had okay, and they were then, negotiated to shift to a green hut, which is right next to Hazratbal Shrine. And thereafter, a police action took.
Mr. Bhatnagar, let's stick to this book for this interview. We shall have another interview for that Hazratbal thing. Another question: drawing parallels, as Rajiv Gandhi was reluctant to come into politics, in the same manner his son Rahul Gandhi is also reluctant to take over the presidency of Congress. Do you think that Rahul Gandhi has in it him?
Well,
And can he actually take the Congress out of this present quagmire?
yes and no. And I would more strongly say no. He cannot. As far as I understand, he does not have that political strength and the willpower. And the Priyanka is more nuanced in her approach. She's more political. Rahul is not a political person at all. I again say, even Rajiv Gandhi was not a political person, but he learned very fast and he delivered very fast.
Then, does it mean Rahul Gandhi is not a fast learner? He's not learning it, but he has it in him.
I don't know. He just I think naturally, organically. I think he cannot learn politics. He cannot do politics.
So actually, Priyanka Gandhi should take over than Rahul.
Priyanka Gandhi is more politically nuanced and she is more uh, aware. Okay, and she can deliver more than Rahul can. But again, I don't think either of them have the potential to lead the Congress out of this particular situation. Uh, they are good people, but that doesn't really solve the problem, right?
Mr. Bhatnagar, throughout your book, which is also the present state of the Congress, there is a rival to the Congress leader in every state. In fact, in many states, their own congressmen not contest, but they campaign directly or indirectly against their own candidates. Why is this? Why is it so? Why they are actually against their own people?
You see, it's called the politics of regional satraps. You know, the regional chiefs. Congress, when the Congress split and Mrs. Gandhi formed her own Congress, she formed a team of very strong regional leaders. Okay, uh, whether it was Rajasthan, Bihar, UP, any place. Okay, even in South India, she had very strong regional leaders. Slowly and steadily, as Mrs. Gandhi lost the election in 1970,
7.
in 1977, these leaders thought they could play a bigger role in the national politics in the Congress organization. So you had this issue. You know, Sanjay did something which is very striking in 1980 elections. There was this hold of Brahmins on the Congress in North India. Okay,
Absolutely.
consciously and as a decision, he appointed Arjun Singh in Madhya Pradesh and Vishwanath Pratap Singh in UP. Though he could not really help much in Bihar, but these two big states had somehow it became a caste politics because Sanjay Gandhi wanted to, lighten the hold of a particular caste in the two of the biggest states in the country. And by doing so, he created two big factions, and the Brahman faction and the Thakur faction. That slowly and steadily snowballed into, even when the elections were about to be held, Rajiv Gandhi said, "Nah, I'm going to hold organizational elections." And Arjun Singh was made the working president and he started the process. The whole effort was, killed because these two factions, Brahman and Thakur, the dominant political forces in North India, they started sabotaging it by getting bogus people enrolled who were from their own caste or community. So Congress came in the grip of a very vicious casted level politics. It created a lot of ruptures within the organization because then there was spillovers also. Okay, so it from Brahma and Thakur it became much more like the OBCs moved away from the Congress. Then the Dalits moved away from the Congress because they formed their own leadership. So in a way, uh, it had a spin-off which hurt Congress very very badly.
Mr. Bhatnagar, my Zoom is showing that last 9 minutes are remaining. So I must put my last question. Otherwise, I would have gone on and on about this very interesting topic. So my last question. Sanjay was rough and tough. He knew inside outside of the entire Congress party and as well as of the states. Do you think that present Congress needs a man like Sanjay Gandhi to take on the present Modi Shah Jagannath?
On a matter of principle, no. We do not need a person like Sanjay Gandhi to come into Indian politics again. The rough and tumble of politics can be tackled in a gentlemanly way also. It is not necessary that you get down to the gutter level to solve that issue or to gain supremacy.
But last 8 years says something else. Love, empathy, humanity does not work anymore.
Absolutely true. But again, Rahul Gandhi is doing an experiment. All of us think it is bound to fail, but he is coming out as he's actually propagating an idea which is a stark contrast of what the ruling party has been doing for the last 8 years. He's talking about peace. He's talking about goodwill. He's talking about empathy. He's talking about brotherhood. He's talking about gentleman's politics, which stand very sharply in contrast to whatever has happened in the last.
But hasn't India changed in all this last 1 decade? Do you really think that Indian people again would go back to love, empathy, humanity?
They will. India will go back to its own natural self, that own organic self, which is basically within the Maryada.
But Mr. Bhatnagar, even last month's election, 4 elections, do not say so.
Yes, absolutely. And please don't look at the election results. Slowly and steadily, like it happens whenever there is an extremist movement anywhere, a lot of people, either because of pressure or because of latent angst, are drawn towards it. But slowly and steadily, they realize that is going to hurt more than it is actually going to solve any issue. So all the lies, all the deception, all the untruths are revealed one by one, and it's a process. It takes time. I'm very confident that Rahul Gandhi is not the answer to Modi or to Shah. He's not the answer. He'll never be able to provide that leadership. But the people of India will provide the leadership. Okay, Rajiv Gandhi will never become the prime minister, perhaps. And even if it does, it is the people of India who will vote, who will assert themselves and say, enough is enough. Now we want to get back to the Maryada, the great Hindustani Maryada of not only doing politics, but the Maryada of life, the Maryada of religion, the Maryada of everyday existence.
Mr. Bhatnagar,
It is an aberration. An aberration has occurred. Okay, and it'll take time for the country to get back to its rails.
Mr. Bhatnagar, I do hope that we see those days which was the past India, which was the ancient India, rather which was the modern India. I literally hope so. We see those days coming back. But as things stand now, there seems to be no hope. But hopelessness is also not good. Let's keep our hopes and let's see how things go from this moment onwards. Thank you, Mr. Bhatnagar, for talking to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Danish.
Please subscribe to our channel Reportage and press the bell icon to remain updated.